Hey guys, what's going on? BMcG here, and today we have a video on my newest rank 4, which is Spider-Man Classic. I actually took time away from my vacation to record all this gameplay for you guys to show you guys how good he is, because he's actually a really solid champ. And before we get into the video, I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's like the best thing since sliced bread. That's just not how it is. But we're gonna start with a damage showcase with no synergies, just against Captain Marvel and Realm of Legends. And yeah, I just want to show you guys that he does not need synergies to have really solid damage, but the two synergies that I think are the most important, you guys have seen a few, they're really good, and the champs you bring along are also really good. So yeah, I really think Spidey is getting a bad rep for like absolutely no reason. He's a good buff. He's not an amazing character. He's a great character in my opinion. I wouldn't rank him above most science champs, but like a lot of the criticisms you guys have had on this buff is like kind of ridiculous. Like, you're complaining that a science champ needs debuffs, but then you also say Mr. Fantastic is amazing and he requires debuffs to be amazing. So it's like, I really just don't know when we decided that, hey, science champs who rely on debuffs are useless all of a sudden. It makes no sense to me. So another thing here, once we drop the special 2 here, when the opponent is stunned, they essentially have a physical vulnerability on them that increases with the amount of taunts you have on them. And everyone's complaining about that as well, because they're saying, oh, you need to stun the opponent to do damage. Well, like, yeah, like that's a fair ask with Spider-Man's buff. Howard the Duck needs to parry the opponent and stun them in order to ramp up his fury buffs. Like, is that okay? Colossus needs to parry Heavy, Heavy is stunned opponent to gain the massive fury passive that he gets. It's like, is that okay, or is that not okay? Like, where do we draw the line on like stun reliability or stun dependency? It's just sorry that I sound so annoyed, but I am kind of annoyed because everyone saw day 1 buff footage, which was bugged, and immediately said the buff was a failure, which it wasn't. Quick little note, this is going to be a damage showcase against 6.4.1 Deadpool, just to simulate like a Battlegrounds health pool. But back to what I was saying, like, this is the first time that they have ported over a buff onto the content creator beta for us to test, and when they did so, there were no embargo dates, so we went live as soon as possible. Therefore, we showed bug footage, which sadly, shouldn't have happened, but you live and you learn. But the content creators who were making the videos just immediately went, okay, failure, sucks, it's bad. And they completely forgot that all buffs are subject to change even when they're on the beta. What we are getting on the beta is not the final form. And the precedent that was set before that was every single beta that we've tested with the buffs, they changed between their beta testing and their live server release. So I don't know why anyone would expect anything different here. But that was Spider-Man rinsing that health pool in 39 seconds, just going straight to special 2. I don't recommend that rotation though, because you need to rely on crit RNG. And yeah, that's something that you have to deal with Spider-Man, but it's also something you have to deal with tons of other characters. Like, crit RNG is a thing in the game. It's just how it is. This is the rotation I like to go with. It's special 1 into special 2. It's safer. You have extra duration on your stuns, including parry stuns, your taunts because of the debilitate, and then you also have the decelerate there. It's a 50% decelerate from just one special 1. And that will allow you to handle most evade champs actually, and it will allow you to counter Unstoppable decently well. Sometimes you might have to, play around it, but it's a solid rotation for Battlegrounds, special 1 into special 2, and you have a lot of control over the fight, believe it or not. The stun reduces combat power rate as well as the suppression that you can get from extra special 1s. He has a lot of control over the fight, and like the taunts, you're never baiting specials. They're constantly throwing them. But next up, we have a damage showcase in Realm of Legends. We're starting against Captain Marvel. These fights go really quick, so let's get right into these. So the synergy team here is Spider-Man, obviously, Hitmonkey, and then Shang-Chi. So Shang-Chi allows Spider-Man on perfectly timed parries and dodges, or like whatever it's called, to place a physical vulnerability onto the opponent. And then Hitmonkey allows you to place a fragility debuff that is actually quite potent onto the opponent when you hit 6 webbing on the opponent. So that's just 3 special 1s. But again, like a lot of people are going to complain, oh, that's 3 special ones to ramp, and it's like, well, yeah, but like watch the damage you're about to be able to do using Spider-Man, and it's actually really, really, really consistent. Like once you're ramped, you're kind of just ramped. Like you're just gonna keep looping special 2s, and like that's the consistent damage output. And I'll show you guys later in the fight, or later in this video, like that's kind of how he is. Like you ramp and then you just go ham, and it's like the damage is nuts. Like that's a 29k medium, and let's see if we get a 30k. No, we didn't. We just go for the extra hits so we could try to push ourselves to our special 2. We knock her down with a heavy attack, and then we go in, drop our special 2, 42,000 damage special 2, not too bad, and there we go. But now we're going to the clip that you guys saw in the beginning of the video against Juggernaut. We're going to start with him here. I'm going to show you guys the full fight. The Shang-Chi synergy actually allows Spider-Man to play without being able to stun the opponent. Like if the opponent is stun immune, the perfectly timed parries and dodges that you can get when you place the physical vulnerability on the opponent, like the damage is actually really high. He's doing like 10k mediums, and that's really solid for a champ who's more utility focused. But like, you know, I'm just I'm sorry that I sound so irritated, but it's just like I haven't been as annoyed with the community as I have been before until this whole Spider-Man buff scenario, because you know this is someone's job that everyone's just like crapping on. And like the designer who did the buff, he was up late with the CCP when we were testing, taking our feedback, and it's just like, I don't know, I just feel bad for the guy, because like he really likes Spider-Man, and he was trying to aim Spider-Man at newer champs while also trying to make something useful for endgame players, and everyone kind of like shit on him for it. And like I think he did pretty well. I mean, look what I'm doing right here. Like, come on, that's a 36k medium and a 40k medium. Like, come on, guys. Like he's really good. I just don't know what I can tell you guys. And like if you guys are complaining that he needs synergies, okay, so what? You have to bring Shang-Chi and Hitmonkey on the team. Like, oh yeah, they're 2 useless champs all of a sudden. Like, come on, guys. And then I showed you guys the footage before. He's fine without synergies. Like, he'll be fine in Battlegrounds if you want to use him there, and he'll be fine in War, especially War, because he counters Limber. And he's gonna be completely fine in Battlegrounds too. Like, he's gonna counter the Limber Mastery. This is a you know, Footloose Dormammu here in like Act 7-ish, I think. I can't remember exactly where I got this footage from when I did it, but like he controls the fight pretty well here. Like sometimes baiting specials from Dormammu gets really annoying because you trigger Dex. Never trigger Dex once here in this fight. It's like he just has a lot of control, and the suppression that you get as well as the stun on the special 2, it really allows you to just do special 2 and then hit them as much as you can. They'll be at their special 2, and then you know you bait their special 2, and then you ramp back up to your special 2 and throw it, and you just try to trade special 2s with the opponent. But the damage you have is really, really consistent. Like you can get some really crazy numbers with this guy. I don't know, guys. I don't get why everyone was so quick to write this guy off. Like that's 100,000, you know, damage special 2. Like granted it crit, but like it'd be 50k if it didn't, and that's still a really solid special 2. But like right there, like I don't know. I mean, he's just I think he's pretty good, and like that's 150k crit to close out the fight. Like I just don't get it, guys. Like I don't know if you guys like watch someone talking about the spotlight they saw and they didn't like what they saw, and that's where you're getting your opinion from. But like actually play the champ, you know, like do what I'm doing in this video, test him out, see what you can do, and like formulate an opinion that way. If you still don't like him, then yeah, he's not for you. But like he's not bad. Like I just don't get it. Like I'm not trying to sit here and say he's like the best science champ to ever exist. He's far from it, but he's useful, and he's very simple, which a lot of people have actually asked for. They want simple champs again, but you know, when they finally get one, they're like, yeah, we don't really like that. I just don't get it. But like now we're countering the Star-Lord here. You know, Star-Lord doesn't have much defense in his kit anyways, but there's Mesmerize here, which is an evade node, and with Spider-Man's ability to increase the parry stun duration, you could pretty much just only hit this guy when you're stunned and still be completely fine. And it's pretty nuts. I mean, there's stun vulnerability on this node as well, which is increasing the damage, but you You know, I'm not even gonna go for 2 special ones to ramp up my decelerate so he stops evading, because I could just hit him when he's only stunned. So I think he's gonna be really solid to counter most evade or auto block if a champ can't auto block out of a stun. But next up, we're going to show how he counters Limber. This fight against Dragon Man, I remember when he first came out, it was like really annoying. A lot of people were complaining about it, like, well, I don't have She-Hulk ranked up, so I can't really do this fight. But I mean, the fight is kind of hard to start. Once you get going, he cooks this fight. But he counters Limber because he has a mechanic where his stuns cannot be reduced. And he also increases the duration of his own stuns. And then also on top of this node, it increases the duration of debuffs, I believe. I don't know if it's just non-damaging, but all of Spider-Mans are non-damaging, so that's the only ones I remember. But essentially, to start this fight out, you need to bait 3 special 3s, or 3 special 1s. 3 special 3s would likely kill me. But, you know, 3 special 1s, and then you just start, you know, going to town on this guy. And these Paradox charges will increase my debuff duration, and it will allow us to do some pretty silly things, but he's dead before we can actually, like, find out like how strong it is. But yeah, now he's no longer passively unstoppable, so since I was at my special 2, I'm just gonna go straight to my special 3, get my webbing back up. But yeah, we lost quite a bit of health due to just the annoying node where he's unstoppable to start. But like, once we have our webbing up, he's never gonna go unstoppable again. So you know, we go for the special 3 here, and we're gonna do some pretty silly things. So this Dragon Man's about to be destroyed once I could start getting to my special 2. But the special 3 on Spider-Man is kind of like the easy mode for getting his webbing up. If you find it hard to like keep the opponent locked down to where you can launch only 3 special 1s to get at least 5 webbing, just go for the special 3 and you'll get 5 that way. Like, that's normally how like they design the special 3. It's either like the easy mode or a payout. But right here, we're gonna go for a special 2. Pretty decent. That's a large chunk of damage. And with the increased debuff duration from this node, he's pretty much dead. Like, he was stunned for like the rest of the fight. I could just kept looping special 2s and it would have been fine. So now we're gonna show him off against Aspect of War. They eventually go unblockable, and you can't really, you know, parry them when they're unblockable. I mean, you know, who would have thought? But to do this, you need Shang-Chi. I mean, you could do it without him, but you're gonna be lacking damage. Like, I'm just gonna flat out say it. He really needs the Shang-Chi synergy if you cannot stun the opponent. If you can, you don't need it. But we start out here with a special 1 because he can go unstoppable when he launches a special attack. Our Decelerate cancels out that unstoppable. And now we bait another special 1. We got lucky again. So 2 coin flips and we got lucky. Do another special 1, and he is now shut down. Like, he cannot, you know, do his unstoppable bullshit from this node. We just got to go for like 1 more special 1, maybe a couple more. I think we only do special 1s this fight because I wanted to try to play this fight as if it was stun immune. Just to show you guys, like, he's fine without it. He's not going to be the fastest champ out there, but he's got a lot of control over the fights with his, you know, suppression, his decelerates, his debilitates, and the taunts. Right there I got hit because I thought I was going to be able to go for like a perfect time parry, or a perfect time dodge. But see how we got 1 there? I just need to get 1 more here. We bait a heavy attack, and see, like, that's an 8k medium, and we don't really have any damage modifiers from anything. So, you know, this is just rank 4 Spidey with the Shang-Chi synergy. So now we have 3 physical vulnerabilities. I think we get like a 10k medium. Yeah, so like that's really solid for like a utility focused champ. And we have a lot of control in this fight where you can just spam special 1s and, you know, keep this guy throwing his stuff and not have to worry about much. Like, he completely shuts down one of the most annoying nodes in the game, which is Aspect of War, after 2 special 1s. And I could still go for special 2s if I wanted to and do a lot of damage that way, but, you know, you don't really have to. But this is the last, you know, thing I wanted to show you guys. It's a full synergy showcase against Old Man Logan and Labyrinth. Again, you don't need synergies to do some of the stuff you're about to see, but it makes it a lot easier with the physical vulnerabilities with Shang-Chi, as well as the fragility that you get with the Hitmonkey synergy. And then, you know, the other synergies are just there for, you know, moral support, I guess. Like the The Wolverine one gives us extra time on our webbing so they don't fall off as fast. And then I can't remember what the other one was that I brought. I think it was to bypass physical resistance. It might have been Doc Ock. Can't remember. But like, this was just to show you guys how quickly he can rinse off, 1.5 million health pools once he's ramped. So like, we threw, I think, 3 special ones so far. And, we're going to just, I think we're going to do one more. Yeah, we go for one more, so we have 8 webbing. That way we have, enough uptime on all our debuffs to KO this guy. And we're not really going to have to worry about our stuff falling off. So, there's just, you do have to parry a lot with Spider-Man. Like, that's just how he is. Right there, I think Old Man Logan evaded because his ability actually cannot be modified. It's just, I think that's an old ability that he has. He still has it in his current kit, but right there, hit the damage cap, and then now we're just going to consistently do, 30k mediums and, 15 to 17k lights. And then, that's essentially how this goes. You just control the fight, and then you loop these special attacks, and then you bait his special 2 once the stun's gone. Like, he's really simple to use, and like, I just don't get why everyone's like hating on him. Like, I get, like, he is Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is, a really popular character, but like, MCOC has never really respected the Marvel Comics power index. Like, we have Ghost as one of the most strongest champs in the game. Like, that just makes no sense when Thanos is terrible. And like, I know you guys might want it to be the other way around, but that can make it uninteresting for certain players. It's also a lot to ask of the developers because it sets these expectations for certain champs, and if they miss, it's going to create all kinds of issues. And it's just, it's a lot easier to just be like, yeah, in MCOC, each champ, lives differently than they normally would. So I don't know, it's just kind of unfair to put those expectations on designers when, I understand. Like, I love Spider-Man personally. Peter Parker's my favorite superhero, but like, gotta remember at the end of the day, this is just a game. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. But that fight against Old Man Logan was rinsed in about 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I think we'll see it in a second here. No, I didn't see it, but it was like 3 minutes ish. But some takeaways here. He has great damage that gets even crazier with synergies. And I have a typo there, but the important synergies involve amazing champs. They're Shang-Chi and Hitmonkey. They're both 2 really good champs. He's also a great unstoppable and evade counter. You could pretty much just do 2 special ones and shut down evade and unstoppable as well, as long as they don't have an increased ability accuracy. He has great control over fights with his suppression, taunts. He's really tanky with Iniquity. And he counters the Limber Mastery as well as the Limber Node and any stun reducing nodes. So he's got a lot of power there, and I don't think there are any champs in the game who can do what he does there currently. He counters Limber, and I don't think there's any champs who do that. So these are kind of like the negative takeaways. He's reliant on debuffs, but in my opinion, that's fine because he's a science champ, and that's a common science trait. And he has ways to increase debuff duration, including stuns. And he'll be able to do his full rotation in Battlegrounds against most champs. So there's not going to be Limber getting in the way, slowing down his rotation. If you use him in target fights, he'll be fine. Another negative that some people might think is that his kit is like really simple. He doesn't have as much text in his abilities as other champs, but for me, like, there's beauty and simplicity. And he's aimed at newer players, but he has enough utility in his kit to be useful for endgame players like myself. I don't think he's going to be, the top science champ. I keep saying that. But he's solid. He's really good. He's a lot of fun. And I think he's going to make my Battlegrounds deck quite often if he works for the nodes. So just a quick reminder, a lot of the things that we'll be showing you guys when the buffs are on the beta, they're still a work in progress, and they're subject to change, and they will likely change. So if something doesn't look good, yeah, it's okay to voice your feedback, but calling something a failure before it's actually done is a bit, out of pocket for me. Like, it's a little wild. And, there's a difference between good feedback and bad feedback, and people just saying that the designer sucks and that the buff's a failure, that's terrible feedback. Give actual feedback, and, stuff might actually change for better. Also, if you haven't actually tested the buff yourself, you know, log on to MCOC and try it yourself, or watch enough videos on actual gameplay, not spotlights, gameplay showing the champ. Like, you'll formulate a better opinion that way, and you might, you know, have your mind changed on him being garbage, because he's not garbage. I think he's actually really good. And, you know, testing something yourself will show you a good, you know, it'll be a good indicator of where the champ actually lands, because only you will know how you like certain champions, and I think Spider-Man's pretty good. I like him for my roster. Lastly, be kind. Like, this is someone's work that they're super proud of, and I know you guys are, some people are like, I could have done better, and it's just like, it's not fair to say that, because like, this guy wanted to aim the champ at newer players while also being useful for players like us in the endgame area. If you guys aren't in the endgame area, I'm sorry for saying us, but like, I think he did a good job balancing the two, is what I'm trying to say. And just, you guys got to remember, like, there's another human being on the end of the line when you say stuff online, and they see everything you say, and, you know, that stuff kind of hurts. So just, you know, be kind, and, you know, understand that your feedback that you say and calling stuff trash and garbage, you know, is it's not the nicest thing to say, especially when it's someone's, you know, job, you know, to do this, and like, they, you know, try their hardest. Like, I get it, Spider-Man's beloved, and, you know, it's just unfair to have these expectations that Spider-Man needs to be a top science champ, because, you know, that's just unfair to put on any designer. But, and, you know, at the end of the day, it's just a game. Like, I know we all take it too seriously and have so much fun with it, but, like, there's no point in getting super bent out of shape over something going wrong in MCOC. Like, everyone needs to hear that. Like, we lost in war today. It was 150, and we cleared with only 1 death, and they cleared deathless. Like, they outplayed us. But, like, the point there is, like, there's nothing I can do there. I played my ass off. They just played better than me. I'm not going to be upset about it. It's just a game. Like, I had fun. So, that's all I got to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a little bit about Spidey. And if you guys enjoyed, hit like, sub if you're new. If you already subbed, you know I love you. See you guys for the next video or stream. Peace out.